All right, guys, that was the final test before I really threw myself into believing in this team, and they passed. They absolutely passed. They crushed it. And honestly, I don't even think this final score and this stat sheet does it justice. That was a very impressive win for the Washington Huskies, I think. I don't know what Stanford's going to be this year. They may end up being not that good. But regardless, I'm impressed. And when you look at this conference with some of the things that are going on over there, you have to say that the sky might be the limit. And when I say the sky, I'm not talking about the college football playoff. I'm not talking about that. That may just be impossible for the Pac 12 team, but we can get as high as we can go, basically. I believe that. I'm starting to wonder. You beat Oregon, and are you going to run the table? And even if that's not enough, so what? You can't control that. What you can control is winning all your games. And I'm starting to believe this Huskies team is going to at least have a chance to do that. Not saying they will, but I am far higher on the team now than I was when this season started. And other than mostly garbage time stuff and maybe a couple of run defense, leaky run defense moments, there's really not anything you can say about this team other than they're a pretty well-oiled machine right now. And maybe most importantly, for at least 1 week, we found a pass rush, which we didn't have a lot of in previous games. And if you want something that's going to help you cover up how mediocre our cornerbacks look, it's going to be that. It's going to be our ability to rush the passer. And ZTF had a monster game. The linebacker, what was his name? Talahana. I'm sorry, I probably mispronounced that. But the linebacker, number 11, he had a couple sacks in this game. It was a dominant performance for a pass rush that really hadn't shown up like that all year. So you put it all together, and even though Stanford may not have a very good season, and even though the scoreboard doesn't look that bad, that was a game that really, as a Huskies fan, let me know that this team could really go places. And if nothing else, this team is exciting now. This team is fun. This team has my interest going forward. And that's all you can ask for after a season like 2021, where everything just went completely off the rails. So shout out to DeBoer for turning this around so quickly. And I'm believing. I'm starting to believe in this group of guys. How can you not? Offensively, 40 burger. What are you going to say about a 40 burger other than they did their thing and they finished. They finished strong this week. It wasn't like Michigan State where it seemed like they ran out of playbook. This team was actually able to go on a scoring drive late in the game. They were able to get a late touchdown to put it away. They were able to pick up first downs late in that game to run clock. It wasn't like the Michigan State game where, like I said, it really felt like the playbook just ended and we still had 20 minutes left and we didn't know what to do. Not the case this week. There were some punts mixed in there. There were a couple of situations where we settled for field goals. But 40 points later, what can you say other than they're doing their job? And it was very balanced tonight. Penix had over 300. The running game had over a $170. Penix is doing a great job almost never getting hit. Like he doesn't take sacks. He gets the ball out quickly. He's not getting smacked around, and that's a big deal for him because we know he is an injury risk. We know that he is absolutely a guy who has struggled to stay on the field in his college football career so far. So he's efficient. He's hitting passes deep down the field. He's hitting short stuff. There's so much motion and misdirection in this offense, and he is running it all perfectly. He is pretty much everything you could want in a quarterback. He is a all-around dual threat, and he's got an offense that is allowing him to be the best version of himself. And tonight we had a really dominant run game too. Taulupapa averaged over 9 yards a carry. The offensive line, for the most part, played really well. Polk, the surprise Polk, Jalin Polk, I'm sorry, I'm going to remember that first name eventually, didn't even really have an impact on this game, and it didn't matter. Romo Dunze went off. Jalen McMillan had a good game, and he almost had a monster game. Giles Jackson got involved in a way that he hadn't really gotten involved in a while. There's so much going on in this offense right now that I didn't think we were going to have. I didn't think Romo Dunze was this good. I didn't think McMillan would be this good this quickly. And it really just feels like the system has come together in such a beautiful and effective way to allow these guys to be, like I said, like I always say, the best version of themselves. So it feels like there's not a whole lot that can happen that can really affect this team. They can lose a guy. They can have a guy not play well. They can have a guy be a disappointment or get hurt midway through the game. It doesn't faze them the way it would have fazed them in previous years. And this is something that can be sustained for a long period of time because so much of it is based around how this offense is designed by DeBoer. So beautiful there. And defensively, look, these numbers, forget it, right? 286 passing yards for McKee. About 80 of those came in complete garbage time. And I'd say another 50 or 60 came in what was basically garbage time. So I'm not worried about that at all. McKee had the one 80-yard touchdown pass when the game was completely over. Their second touchdown drive, the game was, I mean, it wasn't over, but it was, I don't think any Stanford fans were sitting at home getting really excited because they had scored that touchdown. I think they were thinking, where was this all game? It's too late now. So we handled their passing attack, and I will say McKee did show you that he is a good quarterback on some of those plays where he fits the ball into a tight window, where he gets the ball to a well-covered receiver. But overall, there's nothing to be upset about with the way we played against him. And the pressure we got on McKee was incredible. I haven't seen a UW defense get pressure like that in a while. ZTF showed up. The linebackers in general showed up. There were plays where you would have 3 UW defenders meeting him at the same time in the backfield. Early in that game, it really looked like the Stanford Cardinal was just going to have to hand the ball off every play because they couldn't protect McKee at all. One way or the other, he was getting mauled in the backfield, and it really felt like Stanford was going to have to do something drastic just so he didn't get hurt. The run defense wasn't great, admittedly. There was some bad tackling. There was like that 1 3rd and 10 where Stanford basically ran a give-up draw, and they got it, which you hate to see that. That was really bad. And overall, Stanford was fairly successful running the ball. Filkins had over 5 yards or exactly, actually, 5 yards of carry. But if you're going to stymie the opposing team's pass game like this, it's really not going to matter that much, right? Like there's only so much a strong rushing attack can carry you to. So even that doesn't even really matter that much. So we were able to make the game not about our weakness. We made the game about our strengths, which was, as it turns out, in this game, at least on defense, pass rush. And even though Stanford was able to have some success moving the ball, they ran the ball fairly well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And even, special teams. We had good coverage on kicks and punts. Peyton Henry went 4 for 4. He hit a long field goal tonight. He's been perfect this year. The special teams in general seems like it's fine. It seems like we usually win the special teams battle. And yeah. Well, what else is there to say, really? It's a really good team. It's a fun team. And they have a chance to go make this a special season. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to hop on Twitch. See you guys later. Bow down to Washington. Hey, it's time to start believing that something special could be happening here. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bow down, and 4-0. 4-0.